From 1967 and starring the always awesome Thomas Millian comes Django Kill. If you live, shoot. And this was a bit of a bonkers movie. A really unexpected, twisted movie that I'm still struggling to get my thoughts on about a week after I've watched it. Now, the movie opens with a army transport being attacked by these cowboys, and with some Mexican help, they kind of kill all the soldiers and discover a large cache of gold there and decide to, of course, take it. But you know what? Greed is what it is, and a group of the outlaws decide to kill all the Mexicans and the stranger, which is the character played by Thomas Millian. This really has nothing to do with Django. It's not connected other than just using that name for some kind of reference point for any people curious to check the film out, which I'm kind of glad of, because it's a movie that deserves to be checked out. And unfortunately for the outlaws, Django, or the stranger, doesn't quite die and manages to be... No, this is the crux of the movie for me. Does he die, or does he not within the desert? In the early scenes of the movie, we see him being either nurtured back to health or being brought back from the dead, depending on how you look at it, by these two kind of shaman people who cast a spell over the body and seem to bring him back, who melt down his gold into bullets so that he can go for his vengeance. And from the opening start of the movie, I kind of knew where this was going. You know, you're going to have this person brought back from the dead, or saved from death's door, who is going to get revenge against the outlaws that did him wrong. And that's not right. That's completely wrong. You get the next sequence in the movie, which I'm not really spoiling much, where the outlaws arrive in a town. They're looking for some horses. The townspeople know, or kind of realise that they're bad guys, and give some frontier justice, killing all the criminals and taking the gold. And that's when the stranger stumbles into town like the cat amongst the pigeons, and all carnage breaks loose. Now, the thing that I really grasped onto with this movie was the ambiguity about whether this is a horror movie or not, whether or not the stranger is someone who's been brought back for the dead for retribution, almost like a Western Crow. You have Millian, who gives a wonderful performance as someone who seems to be egged on and imbued with energy thanks to these shaman that are always there throughout the movie, who seem to be bastions of knowledge, who always give him a little push. And he says things quite a lot like, I'm tired, I just want to rest, which makes me feel as though they've brought him back from the dead to cause or get vengeance against this group of horrible people. And it's wonderfully set up. It's a weird, unusual movie that really did deliver on shootouts as well as weirdness. You know, because of the early setup and completely smashing expectations of what I expected in the movie, I was given this character, like I said, wonderfully portrayed by Millian, who could be a person that's returned from the dead looking for that vengeance. You do feel as though the town that he stumbles into is almost like purgatory. You know, you have this group of horrible people. There is no redeeming character amongst them all, and they're all there to be judged by this stranger that's come back. It feels very gothic within its horror. It has this strange, uneasy atmosphere. Although it has the motifs of a Western movie, it seems to smash them at every turning point as well. Django Kill was a really unusual movie. One of those films that creeps up on you, that gives you something really unexpected, that smashes expectations and delivers something that you just weren't looking for, but that you really enjoyed, or I did anyway, watching it. Lots of subtext in this one that I liked as well, from the director of Death Laid an Egg, which is bonkers itself, so it's another bonkers movie. Whether or not it's intentional, I like to think it is. It is something very different in the spaghetti western genre, which I really appreciated. I'd love to know your thoughts on Django Kill, which that's enough of a title. Let me know in the comment box below your thoughts, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.